If I had $1 for every time someone asked me about a veggie patch, I'd be a wealthy man. And the best thing about it is anyone can do it. Just depends on how rewarding you want it to be. The best way to build a veggie patch is to make sure that it's free draining with the most beautiful soil you can get. So in other words, building it up rather than digging down into the ground. And this spot here is just perfect for it. There used to be a tree here, and so if we turfed over the top of it, the soil conditions are always going to be different to the rest of the lawn. So it'll end up looking even patchier than what it already does. But being on a slope, I can have a nice raised garden bed that up that end will be perfect for the toddlers, and down this end will be perfect for the adults. The best thing about a raised garden bed is you're not bending your back and digging all the time. How can we completely transform this area from this to this? Now, lots of veggie patches are usually hidden down the back of the property because they're a little bit unsightly. There's no design to it. But what we want to do here, because this yard's so open, is make it look as good as possible all year round. And I reckon one of the best ways to do it is the building of the veggie patch and what you use. Now, we're using Miniwall. These little blocks are fantastic because they've got a nice wide face and they've got a narrow face. If you stack them alternatively, you can get straight lines. But if you want curves, you just alternate them. And that way you can get nice little curves all around the garden bed. And I think this property, with that wall there, lends itself to it. So we're going to go for a kidney shape, and then off the side of that, 3 little petals, because there's 3 little kids in this house and they can have their own veggie patch. The best thing about that is if kids grow stuff, they'll definitely eat it. The easiest way to get a shape on the ground is working with something visual. So the hose or a rope is perfect to lay it out. You can move things in, you can adjust it, but once you start digging away at it, this gets bashed up and moves. So I like to go around, spray the outside, and then I know what I'm working with. The reason why I'm digging out the grass is you don't want the grass growing through the soil, competing with your cabbage, or your broccoli, or your carrots, or whatever you're planting. Ta-da! The toughest part of the job, which isn't too bad, is just removing all the grass because you don't want it growing through the soil and competing with the veggies and the plants you're putting in. Then you need to go around the outside and do a little footing. Now this is a veggie patch and the footing that you put in can be a little bit smaller than what you do if it was a great big retaining wall. You're not parking a car right next to it and it's not holding the house up, but I reckon about 50 to 100 mil wider than the block on both sides and about 200 mil deep is perfect. If we go around, take the grass out, the grass has to go away. So into the compost or into your green bin, but the soil we dig out, we can pile it up in the middle. Then once we've built the wall, we can lay that back out and it'll just be the first course of your soil mix, saving you a skip bin and a bit of money. Now your wall needs to sit on a footing. And I'm not talking about concrete, I'm talking about road base. Now what I like to use is called rebase. It's just old concrete, stone and roads that have been crushed up and reused. It's gentler on the environment and it's a little bit cheaper too, which is a good thing. And just another little tip, don't overload the barrow. I'd prefer to do 10 half loads than 5 great big heavy ones. And I know my back would too. Now the sand cement mix that you want to screed over the top of your road base is pretty simple. 12 shovels of this, 3 shovels of that, so roughly half a 20 kilo bag of cement. Mix it dry, lay it out, screed it off, float it off, and then you'll be laying them like a pro. And now for the good stuff, I finally get to lay my first blocks. Now what I'm doing is working on the lowest level here. Rather than excavating everywhere and having the footing on the one plane, I'm going to step it up over time because we're on the slope. So here you can see I've kind of created a little retaining wall And all I've done is get this level right now. Once this first course is in, then I can concentrate on stepping up because I want what I'm laying it on here to be dead flush with the top of the first course on the lower level. Tap, tap, tap. Check the first ones for level. And repeat the process a couple of hundred times. Well, the veggie patch is really taking shape. The Miniwall is so easy to work with. It's a little bit like kids' blocks. Everything just locks in together and it makes you look like you're a pro. Now I've done the 2 circles. I'm 90% way through the kidney shape and I'm just working on this one here. And this is how easy it is. The little dimples that I left there fit into the bottom of this one and it can only go in the one place. So every one you put in is dead set right. All you need to worry about is if there's any grit or pebbles sitting on the existing wall that you've already done, because that'll cause it to rock, and that's the only way you can get it wrong. For the final course, just like I've got right around the top here, you use the one without the lugs, so you end up with a nice even finish, which doubles as quite a good chair. I wonder what I'm going to plant. I love strawberries, so does Danny. Come on, I haven't finished yet. The hardest thing you'll have to do is maybe cut a couple in half, just so you can fill in the corners and continue the stretcher bond. Stretcher bond is simply just where the vertical joints don't sit opposite each other, and that gives you wall strength. Well, it's taken shape. I really like the look of it. It looks like it's finished, but all I've done is laid these capping stones out dry. At the moment, if I left it like that, you've still got the problem with this. So kids' fingers, when you sit on and climb on it, it's a bit of a worry. What I'm going to do to fix that is just with some liquid nails, I'll use the landscape version. I'm just going to lift them up 2 at a time, put out some glue front and back, little blobs, that's plenty. Put them back into posi. With the landscape version, within about an hour, that'll be rock solid. We can put the soil in here and then get the fun stuff started, the planting out. Planting a veggie patch is exactly like planting another garden. If you want to look good, you layer things. So in the middle here, I've got lemongrass coming down to the artichokes and then coming down to the mint. The lemongrass, it looks a bit straggly at the moment. You can give it a haircut straight away and it'll shoot up in a couple of weeks and look nice lime and green. And what you do is you use the root in your Thai cooking. What do you reckon? Well, I reckon Adbri's got a great product in the Miniwall. It means that gardens like this are very doable for the DIYer. When it looks this good, you're definitely going to come out and use a veggie patch. And I reckon the family that lives here isn't just going to eat better, they're going to live better. For years to come, they're going to have a lot of fun out here, growing a lot of healthy, happy food. For more information on all my DIY projects, just go to adbrimasonry.com.au. You can get all the fact sheets and download it from there. Plus there's heaps of hints and tips and everything you need to know. Check out our inspirations gallery. There's a ton of photos in there, sure to inspire everyone to get out in the garden and tackle a project this weekend. Good luck!